Do you know that you have been using conjunction in your speech without realizing it? Well, in everyday life, we make use of different conjunction in our speech that helps us bring cohesion and coherence in our speech. In today's lesson, I'm going to discuss conjunctions and the different types of conjunctions. So let's get started. What is a conjunction? A conjunction is a word that link or connect words, phrases, and clauses. So let's consider some examples. Boys and girls, at home or in the office. Walk fast, but don't run. Now let's break down these phrases. If I remove the conjunction and, so the result would be two separate words, boys and girls. So boys and girls are connected together with the conjunction and. So this is the result is a phrase. Likely, at home, in the office. So there are two phrases, but they are connected with a conjunction or, at home or in the office. Again, this is an example of phrase. Now let's look at the last example. Walk fast, don't run. Now, this is not a phrase, this is a clause because a clause needs to have a verb in it. So, in the first half, we have the verb walk, and in the second half, we have the verb run. So, both the verbs are connected with a conjunction but. So, this is example of clauses. So, two clauses are connected with a conjunction but. So, let's move further. All right, types of conjunctions. There are three types of conjunctions. The first one, coordinate, the second one, subordinate, and the third one, correlative conjunction. Let's discuss them in details. Coordinate conjunction. Coordinate conjunction consists of 7 major conjunctions called fan boys. Coordinate conjunction links to words, phrases, clauses of equal importance. Now, this term is very important for you, that a coordinate conjunction makes linkage or makes connection between clauses of equal importance. That means equal weightage. I will discuss it further. So let's look at what are coordinate conjunctions. So we can easily remember coordinate conjunctions by using an acronym FAN boys. All right, so F stands for for, A stands for and, N stands for neither, B stands for boys, O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. Few examples. He was late, but he managed to reach his office. So let's have a closely look on this sentence. He was late. One clause. He managed to reach his office. Another clause. So two clauses are linked with the conjunction but. All right. So the conjunction but is connecting or linking the two clauses. The second example, my car was out of order. One clause, I came by a taxi. Another clause. And the conjunction is so. So the third example, I am meeting my friend. One clause, we will have dinner together. Another clause. And we have used the conjunction and to connect the two clauses. Do remember that in a coordinate conjunction, both the clauses are equally important. All right? Now, the second type of conjunction is the subordinate conjunction. Subordinate conjunction connects or joins two clauses of dissimilar structure, or we may say of unequal importance. Now, what is meant by dissimilar structure and what is meant by unequal importance, I'm going to discuss it further. So, as I mentioned in the coordinate conjunction, that the two clauses are of equal importance. So, here in the subordinate conjunction, one of the clause is more important than the other one. So, that means that one of the clause is an independent clause and the another clause is a dependent clause. So uh, that makes it a dissimilar structure. So let's look at some more points. Subordinate conjunctions are used to connect dependent clauses and independent clauses. Now do remember that in the coordinate conjunction we talked about conjunctions that are connecting words, phrases, and clauses. So a subordinate conjunction works between dependent and independent clauses. So if you have confusion between what is a dependent clause and independent clause, so stay tuned with me. I will be making another video on dependent and independent clauses. Let's look at some of the examples, lists of subordinate conjunctions. So here is a few list of subordinate conjunctions: is, if, because, while, though, since, when, after, although. Now let's use them in examples. Is, I was in a hurry. Now this is one clause and this is an example of dependent clause. So remember that a dependent clause is not complete, so it would need an independent clause to be added to make its meaning complete. Is, I was in a hurry. I forgot my phone at home. Now I forgot my phone at home is example of an independent clause. As I was in a hurry is example of a dependent clause. So the two clauses are connected together. And we have used the conjunction is in the beginning, so we have put a comma here. Example number 2. While I was crossing the road, a speedy car hit me. Now, if we consider this example, this first half is example of a dependent clause. And the second half, a speedy car hit me, is example of an independent clause. So since we have used the conjunction in the beginning while, so we put a comma here. The third example, when I arrived at the station, my family was waiting for me. So again the same, we have used the conjunction when here in the beginning, so we have put a comma here. All right. Now, point to note. Now this is very important to learn about using a subordinate conjunction. If the dependent clause comes in the beginning of the sentence, we would use or we would need a comma to link it with the independent clause. Example, when I arrived at the airport, my family was waiting for me. As I mentioned earlier, so if we use the dependent clause in the beginning, so this is the dependent clause because its meaning is not complete unless and until we add another clause with it. When I arrived at the airport, so what? So I have to add something else. My family was waiting for me. So I use the dependent clause in the beginning. So what we would need a comma to link it with the independent clause, and here goes the comma. So now the second point you need to note, no need of comma if we use dependent clause first. So if I put it in the reverse order, for example, my family was waiting for me when I arrived at the airport. So look at this sentence, there is no comma here. So when you use the independent clause in the beginning, so you don't need a comma to add it with the dependent clause. Now the third type of conjunction is the correlative conjunction. Correlative conjunctions are used in pairs. The most common correlative conjunctions are neither nor, either or, not only but also, whether or, if then. Some examples of correlative conjunctions: if the roads are blocked, then we would change our plan. Now, if and then the result of it. If then. Neither the batsman performed well nor the bowlers. So, neither and nor are examples of correlative conjunctions. Not only I have understood types of conjunctions, but also I can use them in my speech. Wow. So not only, but also. So these are correlative conjunctions. So that's all for today's lecture. It was a brief lecture on conjunctions and the different types of conjunctions. I hope you have understood the different types of conjunctions and how to use them in our writing to make our writing cohesive and coherent. So, thank you for watching and bye for now.